Hi guys, Leanne Holitza here at the Healing Studio. All right, we're doing our weekly check-in. This week I am going to use our typical yantra deck and then Colette Baron Reed's Shaman's Dream. Okay, so this is we just came off of a new moon, so this is a good time to really start thinking about manifesting for the year. I'm going to use raw Tibetan citrine today. This is really aligning with abundance and worthiness and knowing your worth. And then I'm going to use Amanda Ellis's Magenta Bridge spray for us all today. If you haven't done this before, just type me please for the comments. In the comments, I'll get to as many people as I can during our time together. I normally try to get through the whole list. But you might be at the bottom and you might be saying me please just now, and you won't get a reading until 30 minutes from now. So just kind of hang out. So I'll tell you who's at the bottom right now: Stephanie, Gina, Sam, Karen. The one of the hacks I tell you guys every week is get onto the YouTube channel. YouTube lets you comment in advance, so you kind of end up on the list in a different order than the Facebook. So they're coming in from a couple different streams, but I will be reading from all of the platforms. I'll just be going down the list here. Ignore the trolls. Anybody who says DM me or has anything else to say, they're not associated with me. Let me tell you a couple things that are going on at the Healing Studio. We've got our sound bath this week on Tuesday, and then we've got a Clarity Breathwork event on Friday, the 16th. And then on the 19th, I've added a little Hugs with the Crystals event. So if you're local, we are going to have all the big crystals in the classroom for you to touch and hang out with. And just it's a drop-in event. So if you're local, come see me. If you're in town visiting, make time for it. It's going to be from 12 to 6 on February 19th, which I believe is a bank holiday, if I have it right. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just see how the week is going to unfold first, and then we will build from there. Okay, so first card that's coming up is Impeccable Sideways. What this means is that we can feel off track, but we can never really be off track because our life is kind of divinely unfolding all the time. Maybe sometimes we get a little sidetracked or we stay too long somewhere, but this card is just saying, like, just, be on the path that you want to be on and make that choice every single day, okay? Helper card. Okay, integrity is sideways. So this has been coming up quite a bit lately, you guys. Where are you not in integrity? Where are you not being authentic? Where are you holding back where you maybe it would be beneficial that you didn't do that anymore? This card is very much talking about being in your authentic truth, and then also asking others to be in theirs as well. And if they can't show up in a kind, authentic way, then you don't have to be with them. You can find other people to be around. Vibe with authenticity this week, okay? That will help with getting on track. By the end of the week, see, if we vibe with that authenticity, we'll be transforming, and we will actually be feeling like we are evolving, even though this looks like a little labyrinth, and sometimes you can't tell which direction you're going in a labyrinth. By the end of the week, we are going to be transforming. So do it in an authentic way, okay? All right. Cool. Well, let's do the Shaman's Dream cards. So we're going to just start off with giving you your first personal reading. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is, if you're watching this later, thank you. Hi, everybody who's watching live too. I am going to do a 1, 2, 3, and I want you just to kind of see which card resonates with you. This is the start of your personal readings. Now, if we see cards come over and over, we are seeing a card that is for all of us. And if you hear a message, even if your name's not on the screen, which it should show up right over here, then it's for you too, even if it's not necessarily in alignment with your name showing up on the screen. Okay, sorry, guys are getting already very chatty. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just kind of sit in your heart, see which one is for you. Okay, if you picked one, you're going to be working with the stranger energy. Okay, so curiosity. Let things be strange. When things are strange, especially when we're trying to get into a different path, that means things are changing, right? That means new opportunities are coming. If everything's familiar, we're stuck in some old patterns. So this week, if you can let things be strange, okay? If you picked two, you got mini masks upside down, okay? So in the protection. So this is, again, calling to that authenticity, okay? So, and just recognizing you don't necessarily have fake masks sometimes. Sometimes there isn't people who are kind enough to you to be able to be accessing your authentic feelings and truths. Um, and so it's sometimes the mask is a protection of, I'm not for you and you're not for me, and I'm gonna, just kind of move through this. So this is, wearing your authentic truths the best that you can. Some of them are protective, okay? And then finally, if you're picking three, you're going to be dancing on one foot, which I always kind of joke, oh, goody. The balancing act, which this is really actually a positive card for the week, learning to be in a balance between your authenticity and someone else's authenticity, your needs versus their needs. Okay. So that sounds like plan. All right, let's get going here. Again, I'm going to call out the bottom of the list just so you guys know I see you, but you're not. I'm going to be starting at a different level. So like Terry, Deanna, Clara, I see you guys. Hi, thanks for joining. Cynthia made it to the top of the list. Cynthia, you got the card Lost in Space. Okay. So this is that transformation, that feeling off track, needing direction. Go ahead and ask for direction this week. Go ahead and ask your guides. Go ahead and put it out there. I need somebody to show me what I'm meant to do next. Okay. Just it could be your daily intention, your daily prayer to see the path, and then you follow yourself authentically as best that you can. Okay. Gina, for you, you're going to focus this week on the lay of the land. Okay. So ancestral wisdom. Okay. This has been coming up for me a lot too, is going back and kind of seeing where there's just some unmetabolized energies inside of our fields that are from our ancestors, and they can go back quite a ways, many generations. So if there's something inside of you that would like to be healed at this time, this week would be the week to do it. And with that kind of clear, authentic mindset. Okay. CC, you're going to be focusing on wholeness in the upside down, whale song in the upside down resonating. Okay, so this is though about that wholeness, about listening to kind of the more deeper earth wisdom, and really just kind of feel into where you're not resonating and where you are resonating. Get away from the lack of resonance. That's really important right now. It's like clarifying your resonance as best that you can so that you can be moving in the direction you intend to be moving in. Don't get distracted in the doldrums. Okay. All right. Eli, you're going to work on me talks. Okay. Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So this week is a time to focus on yourself, focus on your relationship with yourself, focus on where you have maybe done some things that have caused fragments. And if you think about that authenticity card, how can you be more real with you? You don't have to be necessarily real with anybody else. Okay. Chloe, you're going to work with be loved in the protective, so radical acceptance. So when Colette Barrett reads puts these in upside down, she calls it the protective. So this is kind of like this energy is coming to protect you. Okay, the beloved energy. It's not an opposite in her when she writes her decks. So this is like radical self-acceptance and being totally authentic will be protective for you. Okay, so give yourself some true self-love this week. Okay. All right. Taryn, you got dances on one foot upside down. We saw that at the beginning. Again, this is protection. Okay. Balancing act. It'll protect you if you work on balancing and having true awareness with your authentic balance. Sometimes we accidentally get off balance for the request of someone else. And this is the time right now where this is really important to take care of you and let others take care of themselves. Okay. Nicole, you got root girl. Okay. The disowned self. So this week you're authentically traveling back to where you can find the parts of you you've left behind for the sake of somebody else's request or someone else's desires. Okay. So this week, really truly be in connection with the self-retrieval work that can be done there. Seth, you're going to work on the wall. and the obstacles that seem to be in front of you. Now, remember, we're going to be at the end of the week, we're going to be transforming things, but the wall might be there on purpose. It might be serving a purpose. It might be a boundary that is needed, or it could also be something that doesn't need to be there anymore. So when you see the obstacles card, you're kind of asking yourself to see, did I put that obstacle there? How did it serve me? Is it still serving me? And then do that work. Okay. Tiff, you got in the upside down caterpillar opportunity. Okay. So this card is basically saying that you are working on kind of unfolding your wisdom, and it's in a protection. So it's saying like when you protect yourself best by taking advantage of the opportunities in front of you over and over, whether or not it makes sense to anybody else. Okay. So keeping in mind with the beginning messages, add that to the opportunity in the protective. Hannah and Patty. Hannah, you're going to be repairing the veil this week. Okay. So some forgiveness work, some forgiveness with yourself, some forgiveness with the divine energies, some forgiveness with the people in your life. Just kind of giving yourself an opportunity to recognize that things that sometimes go on and sometimes feel like wounds, but they actually can also be opportunities to kind of see things differently. Patty, for you this week, you've got in the protection, the watchers. Okay. So transpersonal. Okay. So really what this is basically saying is that you're going to be working with kind of like more collective energies, the energies of saying to the universe, I'm of service, I'm here, I'm showing up, and I will do what is my part, but with a vision, with an authentic vision. I'm not going to just try to mold myself into what's already there. Okay. All right. Mountain River. Okay. A tidy house, clarity and organization. Okay, so this card is basically saying this week, focus on your clearing the clutter, focus on keeping the cobwebs out of the corners, focus on paying attention to all of your space this week, and that will help you kind of bring some clarity. Okay, Courtney, you've got the magician's sword this week. So you're going to be confident in your magic. You're going to be authentic in your magic. You're going to really go into those talents that you've been kind of almost hiding from yourself a little bit because you kind of been downplaying it. Sometimes we don't know how magical we are because it's just us. And so this week, it's like tap into that. Tap into what is yours to offer in a heart service place. Okay. Kimberly. Okay, protective, cosmic womb. Okay, the divine feminine. So, really getting back to the beginning, getting back to the gestation energy. Okay, the authentic self that just kind of lets things clarify by stillness. The womb cannot force the growth has to happen over time. So, get back to the feminine energies that hold space for that. Okay, Heidi. Okay, in the protective, you got the fortune wheel, luck and right timing. So when we pair this with what else is going on in this week's reading, you're going to want to take authentic choices, not take choices just because they're laid down there. Would you like a cup of tea? No, I don't want a cup of tea. I want a cup of water. Then say yes to the water. Don't say yes to the tea because the tea will be in your hand and the water will still be there waiting to be absorbed. Okay. So that's kind of the example the guys are giving me is like, don't fill your hands with things because they're offered. Take them because they're yours to have. Okay. Diane, for you this week, you're focusing on the crown games. Okay. So right use of power. I feel like this has come up for you before. So this is really just kind of noticing, don't fight for the sake of being right, but stay authentic and true to what is your power and why. And be careful because sometimes I'm getting, sometimes we can have more power than we know. Like I could have some experience with, like, let's just use an example of a restaurant. Let's say there's a restaurant down the street that I had a bad time at. That could have just been one tiny incident. But if I start going around telling everybody how bad the restaurant is, then I could have a big influence on other people's opinions when that restaurant might be perfectly fine most days. So this is just kind of like careful with your words this week message. Okay. Tanya, In the protective, you got the horned cactus, resourcefulness. Okay. So this is really trusting that you can weather whatever's going on and really trust that the resources are inside of you. They're not necessarily external. And sometimes the desert cactus has to wait for it to rain and then let the resources come. So just kind of be aware this week of your authentic use of resources and don't use things that you don't actually have energy for. Sustainable action, your guides just said. Okay. All right, Patty, you got an upside down lost in space. Okay, so you need direction too. Okay, so this is basically asking you to ask, give me direction. I need to understand. Make it a prayer, make it an intention in the day, and then see what happens and see what unfolds in front of you and take those paths, take those steps. I've been saying lately, sometimes we're in the energy of city streets where we can make lots of turns, we can do detours. Sometimes we're in the energy of like a long running highway that goes only in one direction. And so right now we're in a long running highway energy for like the next 6 months. So whatever you're choosing to do now, kind of get the direction before you take off, okay? Because it's gonna matter for a bit, okay? Janice, no pressure, right? Okay, the crossing, okay, and the helpers, the initiation, okay? So this week, focus on that bridge, focus on the in between, focus on feeling into what that in between is about. And know your guides are saying, know that you can say you're playing it simple, but you actually have the opportunity to play it very big and it doesn't have to be complicated, okay? So whatever that means for you right now. Janelle, you got upside down, closing door, completion. Okay, so it's protective to close some doors. It's protective to say that's over. I don't need to go back to that anymore, especially old emotional wounds that are no longer there for you to revisit. A chapter has come to a close. It's okay for that to happen. And it's okay for you to move into a space where you are giving yourself the opportunity to walk away and just let it be done. Donnie, you've got the vanishing mirror in the protective. So this is ego sublimation. So who you think you are, who you've been attached to, careful this week because your authentic self is going to say, I'm not any of those things. Those are just roles or activities I do in my life. My soul is so much more profound than that. Okay. Not always fun to have the ego sublimation. So just be aware of that. Okay. Christy, Kira, and Finn. Christy, okay, lost compass in the protective, get back to integrity. That's coming up, you guys. Authenticity, integrity, be who you came here to be your own compass. Stop letting other people tell you who you are or who you should be. Get in that space where you really truly get into an authentic choice. Now, Kira, you're working on stranger in the protective. We started off with this at the beginning in the right side mode. So this is basically stay curious, be willing to be confused about what's going on because that's where the newness is. That's where new manifestation energies are happening. And Finn, you got the watchers in the upside down transpersonal. So this is basically saying you're going to be kind of influenced by a lot of goings on around you, and just know that you're protected during that process and maybe focus on your part to calm things down. Okay, Joe, me talks for you. Okay, repairing the mind, body, spirit. Okay, so a little time to just get back to you, get back to clearing yourself of those projections from others, clearing yourself from your expectations of yourself and trying to be perfect. You don't have to do any of those things this week. Just me talks is just coming back and saying, I got my own back. Okay. Kalina. Okay. Second time we've got this in the protective. Okay. The crossing initiation. So look out for where you are in the middle of an initiation process and you were protected to do that initiation. There might not be railings on that bridge, but there's a lot of unseen helpers getting you across. So be ready for that initiation that's coming this week. Lisa, you're going to work with Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. Okay. So this is a nice reap what you sow week for you. Be on the authentic energies though. So do your own thing. Don't worry about like copying somebody else or looking at what other people are doing, and just do your own thing and see what that brings you as far as your own choices and your own karma for abundance. Okay, blossoming lotus, you got the lost compass right side up. Get back to your integrity. All right, so keep remembering who you are. Don't transform yourself into something for someone else. That's not the point of this. You are finding people who can love you for who you authentically, sustainably are. Okay, Aaron and Kayana. Aaron, you've got in the protective woodwives, adaptability. Okay, so you're able to just really adapt to what's going on right now. You're very well protected by the wisdom of kind of longevity, lots of things that, lots of other people's work from the past building up for you to have what you have right now as far as resources and knowledge. Okay, Kiana, you're going to work with the universe and is your partner. Okay. So it's in the hands of the universe this week. Give it over, surrender. Don't try to control it because there's no controlling this anyways. And when the universe gets its hand in our manifestation energies, oftentimes it does way better than we could ever do on our own. Okay. Natalie, time for you to close the door too. Okay. Something comes to completion. So you're letting yourself come to a place where you realize, I don't have to keep doing this. I don't have to keep taking myself there. Remember the authentic integrity. Be where people can hold you in kindness. Okay. Robin, you're going to work on the will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. Okay, so this is very much looking for even the stuff that's really crunchy and uncomfortable. Like go to those places because there's gifts hiding there for you, especially when you're authentically facing them. Austin, for you this week in the protective, you're going to work with Netcaster, preparations and coming to fruition. So it's protective for you to recognize this week where you've already cast your nets, where you've already been trying to do something and continue to focus on it. Your guides say, stop planning for plan B, C, D, E. Stay with plan A. Trust that plan A is the right thing. And unless it shows you with absolute definition, it's not anymore. Okay. Jordan. Okay. Me talks again. Repairing the mind, body, spirit. Okay, so I think this is the third time we've seen this card. The first time we might have seen it upside down, but I'm just going to go with this as something we should probably all do this week. Okay, so really get back to, especially since we're really talking about authenticity, look where we sacrificed our energy, where we gave it away, where we made ourselves wrong for the sake of someone else. Just this week, really working on repairing that. Carrie, you've got in the protective dust devil. Move out of stagnation. This week, you're going to get some movement, okay? You're going to spin up some stuff. It's okay to do that when we need to make some change. Again, remember, by the end of the week, things are going to be transforming, whether you like it or not, so you might as well work with it. Barbara? Eye of the needle. Be very intentional this week, okay? So your intentions, your thoughts, your minds is going to really get you where you want to go this week, especially when you focus on you and the me talks of you, right? So just really getting into that for yourself. Karen, okay, upside down horseman, okay? It's change, and change is protective. When change comes into your life in it's unknown and it's unexpected, it's good. It gives you space to create something new, something bigger, something better than what's been there before. So try and let change be held in like a good thing, okay? Don't fight it. Sam, fourth time's the charm, whether or not that other one was upside down. Here we go. Me talks for you. Okay, I'm going to pull the book out and read a little bit of it just because that's what I know that she would want me to do with her stuff. Okay, let me just real quick because it's come up. It says eliminating toxic thinking, repairing the mind, body, spirit, cleaning house. It comes to challenge you to discard the deep, dearly held judgments that you have passed over yourself and others. Release the people who you feel wronged or offended you. Recognize the mirror and the shadow aspects of your own soul. Okay. Only then can you cull from your life the toxic people you have allowed in your inner circle. So really keep that in mind. Okay. Everybody keep that in mind, but Sam in particular. Gina, you've got the empty well and upside down, so time to replenish. So this is going to be protective for you to spend some time replenishing yourself. Also, just kind of think, what does my authentic self need to feel like it can show up all the way? Okay, really give yourself that opportunity to just really get into that question. Okay, like what resources do I need to be me? Stephanie, okay, third time's a charm for this one. So this is for us too. The crossing initiation. All right, so I'm going to pull the book out. I'm going to read some more of this. Okay, it says, rite of passage and initiation. You have come to stand on one side of the river. The opposite bank leads into the darkness of the eternal cave, where the old dies and is born again. This is a place where time is forgotten and the season cease their dance and stand still. It's a temporary repose. You must cross over the river now and honor and respect the transition. It's time to say goodbye to your old ways of navigating your world. Okay, there's more going on there, but if it comes up again, I'll read some more. But basically, go for it. You were more protected than you know, and the old ways are not working anymore. So this is for all of us, but Stephanie, for you too. Like, really look in to what is no longer serving you and let it go. It's okay. Clara, you're going to work with beginner's mind. Okay, first breath. All right, so start from the beginning. Start from the curiosities. Take the expert out of it for a minute. Get back to your little preschool mind. Start as if you don't know what you're doing and learn a new way, okay? Deanna, you're working with unmarked trails, revelations this week. Again, I'm getting a lot of messages this week, you guys. Go where you've never been because that's where the magic is, okay? All right, Terry, you got the fool's embrace, which is upside down, okay? Transmuting pain. All right. So this is like saying you've been hanging on to pain is because you think you're going to be able to change it. And this is not necessarily going to be how you change pain, kind of clenching. Instead, we move through the pain. We feel the pain flowing through us and then we let it out. And that's what you're going to be focusing on this week is authentically flowing with pain, wherever it's being offered, rather than holding on to it and trying to do something about it. Okay, this is the second time we've seen this right side up. Stranger curiosity. So Andrea, get curious, meet the strangers, meet new people, get out there with and find the people that don't think like you. That's where sometimes we're going to find the most important messages. Okay. All right, Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, you also got the fool's embrace in the protection. Okay. So we're transmuting pain. Don't hang on to it necessarily. Let it turn into something else. Let it turn into something more beautiful than just pain and suffering. Okay. Matthew, you got the joyful muse in the upside down protection. So this is literally like just be playful, be inspired, just do silly things this week. That will be protective for you. Don't take anything too seriously. Okay. Miranda, for you this week, you're going to be in the hand of the universe and it's your partner. So give yourself the opportunity to just kind of surrender, trust spirit. When you show up authentically as who you are, spirit supports that. Spirit really actually loves that. So do that some more. Okay, Maria, you got the perfect storm this week. Okay, so the courage to step into life. The things are kind of aligning for you to truly just be who you are. There was a point in time in my life where I literally had come to a point where I could not pretend I was something I wasn't anymore. I tried and tried to fit in the way I thought normal what things were. And when it finally came down to it, I just had to not care what anybody thought. And I just had to go. And it was the best thing I did for myself. And I think that that's the message you're getting for yourself, Maria. Okay, so we're almost to the end. We have about a minute and a half left. If you're still hanging out and you want a card, type me please in the comments and I will be happy to get you a card. I'm going to throw one for my husband just because sometimes he listens, even though he doesn't type me please because he lets you all get your cards. All right, so for Matt this week, he's going to be working with Caterpillar Opportunity. Okay, so that's good. In the protective, okay, so going for opportunities. I think this is actually might be the third time we've seen this in upside down. It is. The guides say yes. Okay, so let me go. So let me get this. This is for all of us. Ready? All right. It says, Caterpillar is an invitation to test out new strategies, get a different, better result. Remember, the definition of lunacy is to continue the same thinking and behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Time to break away from habitual responses. Surprise yourself and startle others. Elicit a smile or frown or look of awe from those around you. Don't wait for an opportunity from life to practice a bit of outrageousness or for permission to do unexpected. Any other response right now will lead to more of the same and no real change. Okay. So this is the message we were getting all frigging afternoon here. Be yourself. Be willing to be in that massive change. Be as authentic as you can be. Take yourself with you. Balance that idea that you have other people to deal with as well. Okay, Dee Dee, I gotcha. Last card here. Spirit of the river for you. Okay, movement towards adventure. Okay, so this week, go with the flow. Get in there, get in your boat, let the water take you where it's going to go, ride those rapids, and get stuck in the doldrums sometimes, but just let yourself be on that adventure. Okay, newness, you guys, this week. Lots of newness. Go be amazing.